Yeah. Yeah. Good evening, all. So myself, I'm Vijay. I hold like 15 years of experience, which includes nearly 8+ years of experience in Python environment. So my experience includes design, development, and implementation of Python and Django based applications. So well versed in implementing different Python libraries like NumPy, CP, Pandas, PyTables, Matplotlib, URLlib, right? Experience in implementing large-scale business critical system using object-oriented design and programming, and developing varieties of web application using MVT architecture using server-side applications, right? So as part of today's session, just I'll be covering the following topics, right? So before I start, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether the screen is visible or not, right?
Yeah, it's clear.
Fine,
We can audible.
fine, okay, fine, thank you. So I'll be giving time for your general queries at the end of the session. If you've got any queries related to this Python, right? Fine. So I'll be covering the following topics. So the demo goes for today's and tomorrow, right? 2 days I'll be just briefing you about these things. Like why Python? Why Python? Already we have got many programming languages. Why again Python required? And Python is not a kind of technology which is very recently introduced. It was introduced in the year 1989, almost like 30 years ago it was released. And why all of a sudden Python has got super popular? By what are the reasons which makes Python suddenly super popular, right? And who can learn Python, right? And what are the prerequisites for learning Python? Do we have any prerequisite for learning Python? And how Python was built and how Python was derived, right? Python real-time applications. What kind of applications we can build today by using Python? If whenever you update with any technology, you need to know like what kind of applications we are going to build. Python mostly used for developing what kind of applications today, and Python usage, who are using Python today, which companies are using Python today, and top most applications built by using Python, and Python features and Python comparison with other programming, right? Coding wise, length wise, complexity wise, you can check how Python statements look as compared with other programming, right? Right, I will just take a code, right? I'll take a task and I'll try to write code in different programmings, right? So you can check it how simple the Python statements look as compared with other programming. Python statements look like normal English statements. They are not as complex as other programming. Just I'll show you the coding of Python. Not even 1/4 coding as compared with other programmings. And reasons I was just why Python is suddenly super popular, especially from the last 4 5 years. Python usage has increased a lot. So wide varieties of applications we are creating using Python, even in the high-end technologies, right? Python is used as an implementation language for implementing different domains of different, right, high-end technologies. And the Python scope and job market, even you need to know how long Python means. If you update with any technology, right, you need to know how long it will be in the markets, and what is the current job market of the technology currently, right? Python scope and job market, these are the things I'll be discussing, right? So I'll be just briefing you about all this one by one in today and tomorrow session, right? Both you can attend the sessions, right? Fine. Why Python? Python is a general. I'll define Python in 6 lines, right? Yes, sir. Python. Okay. 1 second. Python. I define Python in 5 lines. Mainly, I define in 5 lines, right? It's a general purpose programming. It's a general purpose programming language. Multi-programming features we see in Python, right? Multi-programming features we see, right? And high level language. Python is a high level language, interpretation language, and user friendly programming language. Let me brief one by one. What do you mean by general purpose? Python is a general purpose programming. If I say before Python, we have some languages. If you are aware about this, like Pascal, we have got language like Pascal, Fortran. We have got language like Pascal, Fortran, and COBOL, right? Yes. Pascal, right? It is a purpose-based language. You see these three languages, if you heard about these three languages, right? These languages are purpose-based, used for specific purposes, right? For example, Pascal used for developing scientific applications, Fortran for complicated mathematical applications, COBOL for business applications. Means they are used for specific purpose, not for all the purposes, right? But a language which is suitable for developing any kind of application, such a language we call it as general purpose programming language. So Python is such a kind of programming where we can develop. It is not for a specific purpose, or it is not purpose based. We can develop any kind of applications. So are you facing any problem with the audio? Can anyone please confirm?
No, no, no. We can hear you properly. I think the Chandra
So
has
far,
some.
so good, sir. There is no
Yeah.
issue.
Everything is fine. Okay, fine.
Sorry to interrupt you, Vijay. In this course, you would be covering only Python basics, or Django also you will be covering?
Yeah, it's a totally combined Python, Django, all UI technologies, everything I'll be covering, right?
Okay.
Course duration?
Pardon? Yeah, I'll just brief you all those things, right? How the training goes, how the training levels and duration of the course, Python core, Python advanced and application oriented modules and framework, the Django framework, and before that UI technologies and all those. I'll be just briefing you at the end, right? So I'll just show you that course
Can I
content.
actually? I have a very small question. I mean, I have been hearing Django and Python. What is the difference between Python and Django? I mean, it is a kind of different version like PHP 1, PHP 2, PHP 3, something like that. Is it a kind of a different version of?
Yeah, 1 second. Your difference between Python and Django, right? See, 1 second. There are two categories of people. First, there are two categories of people who update for Python, right? Just two categories of people who update for Python. First category of people, yes, they get updated with Python, but their career won't be in Python. They'll update with Python, they will learn Python for implementing, right? So like data science, right? Yes. Secondly, like big data, like Spark with Python, PySpark we say, and even writing like scripts like in AWS or DevOps or in IoT or robotics. So in all these cases, right, the implementation, if you see in most of the high-end technologies, Python is used as the implementation. Total data science implementation goes in Python. So here, big data like Spark with Python, we say like PySpark, and we'll be writing automation scripts, even in robotics, IoT, AWS, DevOps, right? Here people get update. First, they will update with Python, means they need to have the knowledge in Python for implementing or for coding. Total data science coding goes, that is machine learning, deep learning, the coding goes in Python. Big data like Spark, coding in Python, and also like Scala languages. Fine. And AWS, right, automations, like we're writing many scripts, right, using Python. So here the career will be in data science, big data, AWS, their career will be. But second category of people who wants to have a career in Python itself, like they want to be as a Python developer, right? Yes, the second category like who wants to be like a Python developer, Pythoneer, right? So here this Python developer, okay, for this first category, second, this Python developer, they need to have the knowledge about the framework like Django is the most famous framework. We have got frameworks for Python, we say like Django, Flask, Pyramid, Bottle, TurboGear. So we have got many frameworks. Among all these, right, Django is the most famous framework. Django has got many flexible features. It has got many flexible features, means it has got its own database. It has providing many flexible options. We don't need to write huge codings. Just already the code will be pre-written codes available, and it is everything is going to take care by the Django framework. It is going to provide some structure for the creating of project, where to write the project applications, everything taken. So here, if you want to develop a project, means some web application, if you want to create a web application using Python, so you need to have the knowledge on framework like Django framework. And those who wants to go for data science or big data environment, and for writing automation scripts or robotics, no need to update for the Django. If you want to have a career in Python, if you're looking for a career in Python, tomorrow, like if you means as a fresher or an experienced, both I'm saying, as a fresher, okay, you can just attend the interviews with Python, but later once you get job on Python, compulsorily Django framework, because total the project implementation goes with this, where we see like MV in the Django, like it provides MVT architecture. In Java, we see like MVC architecture, model, view, controller, right, in Java. But in Python, MVT architecture, model, view, template. Model nothing but like database, view like Python functional views or class views, templates like we'll be creating templates, that creation of web pages, right, using HTML, CSS, HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, right? We use all this, means interaction between the web page. See, using HTML, CSS, all this, right? It's static. It's a static web page. Just you are presenting your data on the web page, right? Means any organization or any, like if you want to showcase your product, right? So what you do, you will just present, right? It's a present. But if you want to add some kind of dynamism, right, you require Python. And also if you want to store in the database tomorrow, if you want to retrieve, so all this combination of MBT architecture, model with template. For example, if you're entering the details, Python will put the details in the database. Tomorrow if you want to retrieve, Python will get the details from the database and into this, right? So compulsory we require one language, not only Python, web applications development using Java, other tech languages. So anything like either Python, or if you use it like previously like Java, like even now Java is used, but you require any one language, right, for developing web applications like Python, Java, or other languages. So even Python today mostly used or widely used, means at a rapid speed we are able to develop a web application using Python. Most of you will get a query, right? From the last 25 years, like Java, .NET are mostly used for developing web applications. But now, why Python? Python, even though before Java, Python was introduced before Java. Python in the year 1989, Java in the year 1995, but still Java mostly used in creation of web application. Now all of a sudden, why Python is used for developing web applications, means even for example, we have got many frameworks, but when the Django framework introduced, right? But version 1, 2, 3, fourth version, Django 1 version, 2 version, 3 version, fourth version is running currently. So version to version, we have got many improvements you see in this the Django, right? So here, yeah, Django version to version, and Django there is a the separate software foundation, Django software foundation. So well, you can see like a good documentation also maintained for it, and for Python also PSF, Python software foundation, for Django software foundation, right? So we no need to write. See, for developing web applications, if we talk about other programming languages like Python, right? So Java and Python, if you compare, uh, if you're writing 100 lines of code in Java, the same thing we are implementing in Python with just 20 lines, right? So not even one-fourth coding, means the coding. And the secondly is simple syntaxes, looks like normal English statements. Python statements look like normal English statements. In the tomorrow session, I'll be just briefing you with sample snippets. Means even like Python is a kind of language where we can generate visualizations, plottings, reports, right? Where we can generate different types of graphs, normal graphs, bar graphs, histograms, scatter plots, stack plots, but just by writing 2-3 lines of code. Python has got nearly 89,300 inbuilt modules, right? Python has got 89,300 inbuilt modules. Means these modules for different environments. For different environments means if you're from data science background, right? Python is providing modules for data science like NumPy module, Pandas model, Matplotlib model, CP model, Skikitlan model for data analysis, data visualizations. So not only for data science, even for big data environment, for big data environment, for networking side, for network applications, especially a framework, it has got like Twisted Python for testing or test cases, and for desktop applications, and for gaming applications, right? Python has got a separate framework like Pygame and PyCora, right? And not only for this, for different, it has got for networking, for testing, desktop applications, animation applications, web applications, and many other applications. I'll be briefing you one by one, right? In the so because of this modules
Sir, I have
concept.
just a very small question.
Yeah, one second, please. Let me come. So thousands of modules, 89,300 modules Python is providing. Modules consists of some inbuilt functions. We no need to write huge codings. For example, there is a module, for example, to make you understand, there is a module called math module. So if you want to work with mathematical kind of operations, like if I want to use square root, math dot the square root of which value, 16, means it gives the output 4. See, this is the module you are using. This is the functionality present within it, and of which value. So in this way, math is one of the module. The same way for statistics, for networking, for testing, for all this, we have what different modules Python is providing. In that, you will have some built-in functions. So we don't need to write codes. So because of this modular programming, Python supports like not only like object-oriented programming, procedural-oriented programming, scripting, and modular programming. Python is object-oriented, procedural-oriented, or functional programming, or scripting language, or modular programming. Because of this multi-programming features, we call it Python as a hybrid language. Hybrid language means like object-oriented programming, like C++, Java, we can develop application. Like procedural-oriented, like C language, you can develop application. Like shell script, we can write many script files. Like modular programming, like Modular 3. So multiple programming languages, if you combine all this, nothing but Python. That's why we call it as a hybrid language. So that's why today, even in research or development, Python is the mostly chosen language for developing or for implementing different things within this. So because of this multi-programming features, okay. And also the concept of modular program, this modular programming is there, right, where it is providing thousands of modules. Python is providing thousands of modules, 89,000. It doesn't mean that you need to have the idea about all these modules. It doesn't mean that you need to have the idea about 89,300 modules, right? If you are based upon your domain, right? Tomorrow, like if you go for data science, nearly some 10 to 15 modules are there. Just we'll be exploring only those 10 to 15 modules. Even for big data or for testing, for networking, for animations, fine. For all those, the specific modules, only those we'll be exploring. For those, we need to have the knowledge about those modules, how to work with modules, how to import them, different ways of importing, normal import, from import, and renaming it, reloading it, and how to create our own modules if they are not available, right? In this 89,000, if this module is not available, how to create our own module, that will be learning as part of the course. And how to use the modules. For example, tomorrow, like how can I get help on a particular module? How can I dig into a particular module? How can I extract a particular functionality? Everything that will be learning as part of our course, right? So not only this, I'll be just discussing about all this, right? Object oriented with Python, functional programming with Python, scripting, and modular programming. All this I'm going to cover in full, right? For only this Python, right? To have command on this Python programming, whatever area you are from, right? So I'll be providing the full-fledged knowledge on that, where I'll be taking nearly 75 hours, right? 75 hours for this, 75 to 80 hours for only Python I'm talking, right? Python, right?
So
So
you be covering advanced Python also within
yeah,
this 5 hours?
yeah, 75 to 80 hours, which includes, I'm dividing into three: Python core, advanced, and application oriented models. Three things, right? In brief, 75 to 80 hours of Python course, plus people who go for web development, right? Web development or full stack, right? So for those, I'll be providing before I go with the Django framework, right? Here in Django, I'll be showing you nearly like 20 apps creations, 20 applications creations apps, where you will be doing along with me parallelly, right? 20 applications. For example, app 2, first app 1, you will be doing,
Application
yeah,
you doing APIs, RESTful APIs, or it is like UI development, Vijay?
no, I'll be just covering that also, right?
Yeah.
RESTful API.
APIs also.
Yes, API, right? So here, application 1, 2, 3, 4, right? If I just whatever application for this, why? Because you cannot watch the sessions you are supposed to do along with me. So if any error occurred, you will be sharing the screen, right? And this Django applications creations, right, with MBT architecture. Apart before that, I'll be discussing people who doesn't have knowledge on this. I'll be providing, I'll be giving this knowledge on HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, and JavaScript. These things I'll be providing this knowledge. And also this first is Python, first thing, second is UI technologies, and third is like Django with RESTful API and with multiple applications creations, right? So
So sorry to interrupt. Your voice is little bit low.
is this the case for all?
No, it's very clear for me.
Very clear.
Yeah, it's very clear.
Fine. Okay, fine.
One
fine.
question, right? Sorry. What is the exact difference between Java APIs and this one? Because most of the companies are going for API development using Java code, right? Using Python, is there any limitation like retrieving the rows, storage space related to it? Do you have any restrictions?
So as compared, no, as compared with this, right? So using Python, any kind of applications can be developed. But if you talk about, if I compare both Java and Python, right? So if you see two major programming languages currently, if you see in the industry, right?
Yes.
Python and Java. These are the two major programming languages in the industry. Both are used for enterprise application development. So both are used for enterprise application development. But as part from this, Python has got many use cases and many applications can be created, especially from the last 2, 3 years. If you see where Python, if you talk about Python, right, where Java cannot be preferred means today, like everything is getting automated, right? If you talk about the data science, machine learning, deep learning, where Java is never preferred.
Yeah.
If you see total implementation goes in Python, where Python providing many modules for data analysis, for data classifications, for data clusterings, for data recommendations, for all these plottings, visualizations. We have got modules like matplotlib, pandas, numpy, all this, right? So Python is mostly used in this data science, right? It is the talk of the tone of the industry, data science. And okay, apart from this, Python not only for this, right? We have got many use cases for Python apart where Java cannot be preferred. Like even if you talk about today, Python mostly used in the gaming field, right? Especially it has got a framework like a Pygame, PyCora, and some PySoy, right? And some 3D rendering libraries Python is providing. Many games are getting developed today using Python, and also for network applications, desktop applications, animation applications, and even not only Python providing modules for these computer applications, even for civil or electronics, right? Like even for computer aided designing, CAD and 3D CAD, it has got modules for embedded systems. The most famous embedded application, Raspberry Pi, using Python computing, and also for web scraping data from different sites and everything. So I'm not degrading Java here, but Java is powerful, still it will be in the market, but one or two limitations of Python as compared with Java is Java is faster than Python. Java is faster than Python. For that is one. Second thing is, I said any kind of application you can develop using Python, but one limitation is Python is very less used in mobile application. Python is very less used in mobile applications. Mobile applications, Python, right, is less used. Fine. And remaining all, okay, you can develop implementation of Python. Okay. And previously, if you talk about if you go back like 10 years back, right, 2010, if you talk like Java, the usage of Java is nearly like 43% in the industry. In the same 2010, if I talk about Python, most of them are not aware that there is a programming language like Python. It was just 3% used in 2010. Python is very less used, right? But if you go back 10, like if 10 years later, right, 2020, if you talk, the usage of Java and Python, just I will show you the graph in the Google. I'll open Google and show you these graphs, right? The usage of the different languages. Currently Java, if you talk, it is 19% used and Python 31% used in the industry currently. The usage of Python has increased because multiple applications and even high-end technologies using Python, right? So one second. Let me open this. See, if I talk about popular coding language, if I talk like popular coding language, okay, for example, okay, popular coding in 2020, 21, 22, like last 2-3 years, right? If I talk, if you see this top 10 programming languages from the last 2-3 years, Python stands number one, right? Next comes JavaScript and Java. Yes, this I opened in Google, right? Just the most popular programming languages. If you see Python, next comes Java, the other things, right? Yes. And if you see most popular programming languages used by top 25 unicorns, right? Python, next Java, JavaScript. All right. Okay. So ranking wise, if you check, right, Python stands number one ranked programming because of this diversified number of applications. If I talk about the applications of Python, right, we can keep on mostly used applications. Mostly in tomorrow's session, I'll just brief one by one where exactly it is used. Python is mostly used and preferred, right? Okay. And see this Python stands as the number one ranked. But if you see the icons beside it, see this web application, desktop application, embedded applications. But one thing is missing here in Python. Can you see the second one? In Java, mobile application, you can see. In Python, you cannot develop those applications. If you see like popularity of programming languages, right? Python, Java, and JavaScript. Popular, Python remains most popular programming language. And if you see the usage of Python currently, just check this. I said 31%. See the big circle, Python 31% used, Java 19% used, C++ 9%, C 6%, all this JavaScript 6%, the usage of Python currently, right? Fine. See this from the last 4 years, if you talk Python, increasing graph. Dark blue color 2017, orange 2018, the ash color 2019, and this blue color 2020 means still it is an increasing graph. Year by year the usage of Python is increasing a lot still, right? And Java, you can see it is increasing, decreasing, increasing, decreasing. So still it is giving a tough competition, right? Fine. Okay. Even if you talk about this ranking based on average salaries and based on job openings, Python has got many job openings today. And Python means directly or indirectly, you people are going to touch in Python, right? For example, whatever field you are in software, compulsory you will be directly or indirectly, you are going to touch Python in any field, in data science or big data or in networking or testing or in not only in non-programming side also, right? Administrators, database or network administrators writing scripts files using Python, where Python has got modules, OS module, sys module. In this way, many modules are for administrative kinds of activities, right? Most popular, Python is the most popular programming language. So there is popularity of Python even in the coming days also, right? Python's stands where it is providing modules, right? Okay. So let me show you like so who are using Python today? Just to give, I'll just give you some examples, right? Who are using Python? Yeah, everyone, you will be getting the recording session of this, right? Every session is video recorded. You will be getting the recordings of this. Not only this, every session recording you will be getting, right? So so it's a purely, it's an online class. You will be getting the pure experience of offline also, right? Everything. Only thing is you cannot see my face, but everything, whatever I draw, whatever I write, whatever I type. So it's a hands-on like interactive sessions. As of now, it's a demo session as I am speaking most of the time, but in the general, right, in our regular sessions, right, for every statement I type, you people will be responding with the expected output or the result, right? It's a totally practical oriented, nothing theoretical. So for every statement by statement, so Python is an interpretation language. Statement line by line execution you are going to see in Python. But if you see other programming like C or C++, Java, right, compilation executes the entire code at once. See this, see the difference between this other programming and Python, right? Yes. So for example, you got some lines of code, you got some lines of code, right? You got some lines of code. So compilation languages executes the entire code at once. It executes the entire code at once, and it displays the errors. If you got any errors, all the errors, for example 7 errors or 10 errors. But in the case of Python, interpretation, line by line execution, you are going to see line by line. So this is interpretation, right? Line by line execution, right? Yes. line by line execution. It executes only, for example, if you get error in this particular line in Python, it won't execute the remaining lines. Abnormal termination. Okay, that we'll be discussing as part of our course. Fine. Just I was saying, who are using Python today? Who are using Python today, right? Yes.
Class timing will be the same time, Vijay. It's 8 o'clock only, 8 to 9, 9 p.m.
Yes, 8 to 9 IST timing. Indian Standard Time, 8 to 9, 8 o'clock. It starts daily at 8 to 9.
Every day it will be, or on specific days?
No, daily it starts at 8 p.m. This is a new batch, right? 8 p.m. It will be at 8 p.m. only.
Saturday, Sundays.
So Monday to Friday it will be. But later, if I'm running out of days, some Saturdays I'll be taking pre-intimating, right? If everyone fine with the timing, just we'll set some time on Saturdays. But if you're running out of time, right, at that end of the course. But as of now, Monday to Friday only. If anybody wants to attend this the Django courses, that is Django or UI, you can also parallelly go with, right, in the weekends. Weekend batches also available for the Django, right? Yes.
You will be taking the Django classes in the weekend.
Yes, in the weekends I'll be taking.
When is that batch getting started, Vijay?
Yeah, I will letting you. 2.5 hours on Saturday, 2.5 hours on Sunday. At least 2 or 2.5 hours will be having class on Saturday and 2.5 hours on Sunday. 5 hours right on Saturday and Sunday. So about the
When
timings,
it's going to
yeah.
start?
So whenever any Django batch starts, just I'll be intimating in the class 1 week before, right?
Okay.
So who are using just like it's a kind of introduction about this Python and who are using and how it was developed. And some of you are asking what is the prerequisite of Python, right? There is no prerequisite for Python. Anybody with zero programming or non-programming also can update with Python, right? So in the tomorrow session, I'll just let you know how this Python syntax and statements look by taking a task and encoding in different languages. You can observe not only those, not sample simple codings that I show, but generating. I'll show you some kind of graphs also with 2-3 lines, right? How the graphs are getting generated in Python. Without any knowledge of Python, you can just understand this what's happening, right? Statement by statement, right? So they look like normal English statements. So I'll just show you the codings in different languages, right? Fine. There is no prerequisite, I'm saying. Anybody can update with Python, right? And mostly like I'll give some of the examples who are using Python today and topmost applications built using Python, right?
We'll be getting this session recordings, course recordings.
Yes, definitely. You'll be getting every day you'll be getting the recorded video.
You'll be providing any material as well, a PDF.
Yeah, you will be getting that whatever I do, whatever I say in the class, everything you'll be getting it, right? The topic by topic, you'll be getting it.
Okay.
Build.
Okay.
Okay, please be in mute. So, okay, if you got any queries, you can just ask the query and it's going to mute, right? Okay, for your general queries, just I'll be giving time. So just I want to say something about this Python, right? Who are using Python today means if you see everyone, there is a usage of Python, but already there are some applications built by using Python. Topmost applications built using Python. For example, who are using and Google, right? Google is one of the best example for Python web application, right? It is the greatest example. Like first web crawling was written in Java, but it was so difficult that it was rewritten in Python. So Google using Python for its web search system, right? Yes. Yahoo using Python, right? YouTube using Python for its video sharing service. Uber is using Python. Uber pricing algorithm implemented using Python, and even like NASA using Python for its research and development activities because of this Python hybrid features, right? Yes. And Instagram using Python. The prime reason for Instagram to choose for Python is its practicality and its simple syntaxes, right? And Netflix using Python for its security automation and for subscription purpose, right? Netflix, it is using models like NumPy and CP. And there are some applications that got built using Python, like Dropbox. Quora, Reddit, Pinterest. These are built by using Python. BitTorrent uses Python for its file sharing service. And if you heard about Maya, a powerful 3D animation, right? Okay, for just like Photoshop, Photoshop or Flash, Maya, Python 3D animation, which uses Python scripting MMOG, massively multiplayer online games. Massively multiplayer online games, right? Mostly like Python used. And apart from this, right? iRobot for military and commercial operations, right? Python is used. And companies like IBM, Seagate, Qualcomm, all this they use Python for hardware testing. For hardware testing. So these are the some of those things, right? Some examples, right? Which are who are using Python. Topmost applications built using Python. And you may ask, why should I update with Python? What I'm going to get? Okay, reasons why Python is suddenly super popular. Reasons why Python is suddenly super popular. Okay, super popular, right? So firstly, if we talk about most of the programmers or developers are attracted towards Python and migrating towards Python because of its simple syntaxes, right? And one more thing, every one of them they like to go with very less coding. Secondly, very less coding, not even 1/4 coding, right? As compared with other programming, very less coding you can see. And multi-programming features, right? Multi-programming features. Multi-programming features, right? And interactive mode, just like how people interact through messages, right? In the same way we can interact with Python, right? Statement by statement. You cannot see this feature in any other programming. Interactive mode means, for example, if you have got Python installed in your system, you can go to the search panel, typing cmd, and go to this command prompt. Go to the command prompt and just type Python and just say enter. Python version that we are using 3.10.6, and you can see this 3 arrow symbol, right? Python interpreter, right? You can type any valid Python statements here, like 3 plus 4, any valid Python statements. So 4 into 5, we can get it, we can interact with Python. It gives the response for every statement we type, right? For example, in Python, no need to define the data types also directly. In other programming, we say like int x, like in Java, in other C, or like int x equal to 10. No need to give this directly in Python. Just say x as 10. That's fine. Y as 20, right? Y as what is x value? Give the response 20. Y is 20. X plus y. What is the result? X minus y. X into y. Right? X into 2. X to the power of 2. X to the power of 2 means 10 square, 100, right? Like x equal to, like a string, if you take x equal to hello, right? X, what is x? It says hello. X into 3 times it says hellos. X into 5, say hello for 5 times. So in this way, you can type any valid Python statements as a beginner, as a learner, right? This interactive works much better. So if it doesn't, for example, if it doesn't know about any particular functionality, you can just type here and check what result or what output is going to provide. Based on that, you can analyze, right? This interactive mode you cannot see in other programming. So Python provides both interactive mode as well as batch mode, right? So the statements, as I said, looks like normal English statements. Fine.
Yeah, Vijay, you mentioned Python don't support mobile-based applications like that, right?
Yes.
Means Instagram and Netflix, those have Netflix app and Instagram app are there, right?
Mostly, it's not mostly used.
So by using Python, we can't develop Android apps or iOS apps. You're saying that?
Yeah, mobile applications very less used. Python is very less used in this application, not mostly used, right? But still, it is we are See every version to version, if you talk, right? If you see in Python documentation, right? If any new version is released, it will see what are the new modules, improved modules, what are the new features or functions. Every module to module means version to version, it is improving with the new modules, or if any module which is not mostly used, deprecating or removing that module. So the coming versions, right, we cannot say, but as of now, one limitation is very less used in this mobile based applications.
Okay. Okay, by using this Python, we can develop any website like that. Means you mentioned Pinterest, like that. Can we develop websites as well by this with the help of your course?
Yes, yes, definitely, right? Yes.
Is there any project by the end of the course means developing
So
websites?
I'll be showing you, because as I'm saying, HTML, CSS, Bootstrap means you are going to take some predefined styles, where Bootstrap is something that you are presenting your data, right, by taking different styles from your web page, right? That's in Bootstrap, or in using JavaScript, you will be means using CSS cascading style sheets, right? You are adding some styles to your web page. So all this using HTML, you are just presenting, you are presenting your data on the web page. Any organization, you are showcasing your product on the web page by using different colors, fonts, images, tables, forms, right? And apart from that, you use cascading style sheets to add additional styles.
So
And
it includes in this course. It includes in this
yes,
course HTML, CSS.
yes,
Also
yes,
includes.
yes, HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript. I will be just discussing those things.
And Python scripting.
Right. So everything I'll be discussing. So I said like object-oriented Python, object-oriented with Python, functional programming with Python, scripting with Python, and modular programming with Python. That's why I said 75 to 80 hours only for Python, excluding the Django.
Thank you, Vijay.
So here, yes, you may ask, right? I'll be spending some bigger sessions sometimes on Saturdays, right? Why? Because if you want to go with more examples, working examples and applications, right? So 1 second, 1 second. We go back to this, right? Just I was talking about this. So 75 to 80 hours of Python and HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, I'll be discussing separately, right? Okay, and Django, total the Django architecture, Django installations, and models, working with models, working with views, working with templates, all these things. So here, so it's an offer batch, right, for all the students to go and update with this. So here for Python, it's just is an offer. The fee structure also, I don't know if everyone are aware about it. So like it's just 5K for Python, and for all this HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, and Django for all these applications creations, actually it is 5K. As a combo package, it is single stuff. Like if you're taking as a combo package, it is just given for 8K, right? So
Means you mentioned it includes in this course HTML, CSS, Bootstrap.
yes, actually it is 5 plus 5, 10K, but it is, if you're taking as a combo package at a time payment, it's like the 8K, right?
So after core Java, you will start means teaching HTML, CSS, right?
Yes,
After.
See here, yes, people will be updating. See this HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript in the weekends I'll be going, right? Means where we doesn't have any knowledge on Python. So when HTML, Python core, other things are going on, HTML, CSS can be covered within this Saturday, Sundays, right?
Okay,
So
and you mentioned there will be modules in the Python for data science. There will be separate modules and big data separate modules.
Yes.
So on which modules you are going to concentrate?
So sorry, I didn't show you the course content till now, right? Yes, 1 second. So this is the course content, right? Python basics, starting from the basic Python, right? History, features, advantages, functions, and one more thing, in real time we use IDEs in Python, integrated development environment, right? We have got many IDEs like PyCharm, we have got PyCharm, PyDev, so Komodo, Spider, Eclipse, Python. For Python, all these are supported. Jupyter, you heard about Jupyter notebook, right?
We can write code in this PyCharm,
Atom VS Code, right? Yes, so I'll be showing you in all these IDs, not in one or two IDs. Okay, fine. So here, okay, PyCharm, PyDev, Komodo, Spider, Eclipse, Jupyter, Autumn, VS Code. These are the various IDs. Mostly used is PyCharm, right? Mostly used, right? You may ask like, why these many IDs? For example, for Java, mostly like Eclipse is used for Java. For Python, PyCharm is mostly used one, right? Yes. Okay, PyCharm mostly used. PyDev, I'll be showing you in many IDs, right? How to download them, how to install them step by step, and how to write the code and how to execute the code on these IDs. So you may ask why this many IDs? Because Python used for different environments use different IDs. For data science, Jupyter Notebook is mostly preferred, Spider is mostly preferred. Even for big data, Spider is mostly preferred, Jupyter is preferred. For web applications, PyCharm, Atom, VS Code, right? Visual Studio Code, right? These are mostly preferred. Don't worry, these are the names of these IDs that we will be downloading and installing and working on this in real time. We use these IDs, right? So I'll be showing you how to work on editors and how to work on IDs and how to work on ideally. So all the possible environments where you can work on Python, I'll be showing you all those, right? So that tomorrow if you go in any environment, you can be able to work with, right? And also how to create our own modules in Python. And see this, I'll be discussing as part of this course, like modular programming with Python means different modules related to different environments. Some modules related to databases, some models related to big data, some models related to data science, some models related to operating system, some models related to regular expressions, some related to this multiple multitasking, right? So in this way, some models related to graphics. So all this I'll be showing you, right? So that how to work with the models, how to dig into the models, how to explore with the models, you'll be getting the idea, right? How we can get the help on each functionality present within a module, right?
Okay. On which modules you are going to concentrate? Means you mentioned for data science and big data, there will be different modules. Means I work as ETL developer, so just want to know on which modules you are going to concentrate.
So just observe this course content, right? Operators in Python, Python IDs, right? Different types of IDs, Anaconda distribution, Anaconda, and working with Anaconda prompt, Anaconda navigator, Jupyter, Spider, Eclipse, flow control statements, looping statements in Python, strings in Python, right? Or like string indexing, string slicing, string functions, string methods, string special characters, right? But only. And collections in Python, list, tuples, sets, dictionaries. Like in the case of list, will be have all these collections will be discussing more than 1 week to 10 days, right? Like list indexing, list properties, list functions, list methods, list addresses, list modifications. Like tuples also properties, their indexing, slicing, functions, methods, addresses, right? Similarly for sets and dictionaries. Functions in Python in brief, right? Like different types of arguments, default arguments, non-default, keyword, non-keyword, variable length, arbitrary arguments, and some important functions given by Python, like lambda function, right? A function without any name, we call it as lambda, or reduce, map function, filter function, right? In this way, different types of functions. And models in Python. What is a module? Different types. And user defined module, setting path, normal import from import, how to in different ways of importing, renaming a model, reloading a model, creating our own modules. So these things.
Vijay, so for CSS Django, is it required? Actually, I'm choosing path. I want to use this Python in infrastructure side, not in the application development side. So is it required to go for Django and CSS? Not required, right?
So if you want, if you're for web applications creations, right? People who go for web applications, web development, or website development, those people, okay, I ask them, I can advise them.
Okay. So only normal Python is more than enough for
So
like
people who go for data science or big data or high-end technologies, right? Just I recommend Python is enough. Right?
Okay.
So, but if you want some updation, still further update on Python, that is on your on your choice. Fine. So here package in Python, collection of modules with as packages, errors in Python, exceptions in Python, right? Different types of exceptions, right? And the files. So generally we will be taking the input from where you are going to take input from different files, right? Either it will be text files or Excel files, CSV files, JSON files. Generally in real time, we won't say enter 2 numbers, enter 3 numbers, perform operations just as some of the trainings goes, right? Not like enter, but we need to read the data from some files, take that input and process it. And out of processing, again, if you want to store the result in any files or databases, you need to store it. That's how Python need to take that input from files or databases and process it again, store it in files and databases, right? Fine. So here, file handling in Python. So what are the things in reading, writing, appending operations? Okay, object-oriented programming concepts. Object-oriented programming concepts in brief, like just I've given like the features only like this, but internally a lot of discussion like encapsulation, abstraction, class, object, static, non-static, constructors, destructors, garbage collector, types of inheritance, polymorphism, method overriding, right? These things, everything will be. And regular expressions for extracting required data from the given data, right? And database connectivity, database access. So establishing connection with the databases by writing Python statements only, right? By writing Python statements only, I need to perform these operations. I want to create a table in database. By writing a Python 3 lines code, I execute that code, go and check the table should be created in your database without opening. And I want to insert a data into the table. By writing Python statements only, I need to perform. I want to retrieve data. I want to delete. I want to drop. I want to perform all these SQL or database related operations by writing Python scripts, right? Statements, I need to perform it, right? Even different types of modules, I said I'll be covering like Python date and time related modules, operating system modules, right? For renaming files, creating directories, removing files, advanced concepts like iterator, generator, closers, decorators, web scraping. If data in database, you will just query it. If not in the database, you will scrap the data, right? You will going to scrap the data from websites. You all got URL module, beautiful soup model for it. Working with CSV files, working with XML files, working with JSON files, and debugging and GUI programming, graphical user interface, right? Introduction to this GUI programming. Excel workbook. I want to create Excel file, Excel workbook. By writing Python statements only, that Excel file need to be created. And I need to create Excel sheets. By writing Python statements, execute it, go and check the sheets are created or not. Into the second sheet, I want to write data by writing Python statements. From the third sheet, I want to read data. I want to append data, all this for an Excel related operations, Excel files, right? And coming to this data analytics, right? Pandas model, NumPy model, Matplotlib model with working examples. Introduction to this data science. What is that? Like Python mostly used, that's why we'll be providing knowledge on this data science, like statistical analysis, supervised, unsupervised, univariate, multivariate, correlation analysis, right? And I said some of these data science related models in brief, in depth, right? Like pandas, which is mostly used for data science and for regular usage. How to create pandas from series, creating data frames from dictionaries, data frames from list. How to create data frame from series, from CSV files, Excel files, from JSON files, from databases, date functionality, time delta, creating grouping segregations, data frames from list functions, pandas and matplotlib, right? And one more model like Python NumPy model in brief, like for mathematical and statistical operations, and also matplotlib, different plottings and visualizations, right? Matplotlib model, right? Yes, generating graphs, normal plots, histograms, scatter plots, stack plots, pie graphs, right? Any type of graphs using this plotting model like Matplotlib, right? And before I go, like with the Django, like HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, I'll be covering as well. Later, I'll go with the Django, right? Django introduction, the web frameworks. What do you mean by a framework? What do you mean by a server? What do you mean by how to give that HTTP request, HTTP response, right? Web framework, web application, steps in developing web applications, right? MVT architecture, total architecture in brief, I'll be discussing, right? And the Django installation, virtual environment creations, working with IDEs like PyCharm, Atom, VS Code, the Django project architecture, like many PY files will be there, inbuilt PY files will be there, like manage.py, urls.py, settings.py, admin.py, models.py, views.py. We'll be exploring all these .py files, inbuilt PY files, right? The Django applications creations, what are the steps working with all this bootstrap, HTML, CSS, like the Django applications creations in Atom, PyCharm, the Django views, and the Django templates, right? We have got inbuilt, like even how to bring inbuilt predefined styles, like from you, like bootstrap, the Django admin, like the Django has got its own database, SQLite 3, right? Fine. And the Django models and advanced concepts like the Django ORM, right? See, one thing, if you, okay, UI technologies, right? HTML,
Hello.
CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, right? Yes.
Hello, Vijay. Dhananjay this side. Sorry to interrupt you,
Yes.
but I just want to confirm our class time will be 8 to 9, right?
Yes, 8 to 9.
Yeah, because why? Because I'm asking you because you have confirmed already. I have another class every day, Monday to Saturday, at 9 p.m. So that's why I'm asking you. So it will be sharp 8 to 9, right?
See, actually, I'm running out of time. At 9 o'clock, I do have another session, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 8 to 9 sharp, it will be from 8 to 9, right? Today.
Yeah, because if
Today I'm
this kind
going.
of scenario happens every time, then it will
No, no,
become
no.
very difficult for me
No, no,
to.
no. Actually, I cannot skip your queries, right? That's why I'm just going ahead. I need to show the syllabus, right? So actually, there are many other students waiting at 9 p.m. right for me.
Mhm.
So I got another session at 9. So 8 to 9 only sharp. I will be stopping at 9 o'clock, right?
Okay, then it will work for me. Thank you so much.
So these are the things I'll be covering, that in brief, in depth, we'll be discussing about Python. So all the sessions will be interactive sessions. Everything will be in unmuted status. At any point of time, you can just ask query and you can interact, right? And you will be responding for whatever statement I will be typing. Please be in mute. Yes. And for interactions, right? Okay, this. And also later, I'll also be creating a WhatsApp group for that interactions, right? If you got any error, you can just take the snap of it and you can post in the group. Anybody can answer, even I'll be responding, right? Fine. This is Python core advanced and modules, application oriented models, and UI technologies and framework, right? So everything in brief. So even if you want anyone, right, you can go parallelly with Python and this Django UI technologies parallel. Even if you want to complete in 2.5 or 3 months, you need to go parallelly, right? So for those, you'll be in touch with me in WhatsApp, so that I'll be intimating parallel those who go. Any Django batch starts, I'll be intimating any other batch, like you just, if you want to go parallel, if you want to finish it, right? Why? Because UI technologies doesn't need any knowledge of Python. And before we go with Django, but even Django also, the initially the applications creations, architecture, everything, we want to go, we are not writing any coding of Python, right? Later we'll be discussing by the time, or Python, like 60 to 70% of the course will be completed, right? So that's what. Any other queries from your side? Clear notes will be provided topic to topic, right? I'll be providing it. You'll be getting to your mail IDs, and video you'll be getting to your Google Drives, right? Every day, a folder, Python 8 p.m. batch. A drive will be there in the Google Drive. Every day, one video will be added into the drive, right? It's only viewable, it's not downloadable, right? You'll be access for 6 months for it. Right, and nearly like 250 plus code examples will be discussing as part of Python core advanced, right? And nearly, like I said, 20 applications will be developing it in this Django, right? Yes. So in depth, you'll be getting knowledge on this. So you'll be getting command on that. And even if people going for any certification program, right, just I'll be helping you out. What is the syllabus for it? How the performance is measured? So what are the question types? So all those I'll be taking some separate session for that, right? For anyone going for Microsoft certification, other certification programs in Python, right? So any other queries, right? Yes, any from Any queries related to this Python course? So I was just discussing a general discussion about Python, how it is. Tomorrow you can just see much on this Python. Tomorrow, day after tomorrow, you people can attend session to see more on this Python, how this training goes, right? Right, prerequisite for Django, right? Before you go with Django, right, you need to have some knowledge on this web technologies, right? Like HTML, CSS, these things. So everything, all this, we can be with zero knowledge, you can just come for this, right? You doesn't have any knowledge, just everything you'll be updated with Python, core, advanced, HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, and Django, everything you are going to get updated. So that's the reason in the previous session directly I used to go for Django, but most of the students doesn't have knowledge on HTML, CSS. That's the reason I'm giving the freely that knowledge on Django, that is HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, not an overview on that. In brief, I'll be discussing, right? Yes. Yeah, so nearly this course duration, okay, for if you want, you can go parallelly, right? Otherwise, one after the other. Once you got registered for any of my Python batch or Django, you can attend any of my batch, right? 1 second. Once you get enrolled for my Python or Django, right? You can just attend any of my Python course. Running courses you can attend, or the courses that you are attending. Or for revision purpose, if you want to attend my Python course, the next batch or any other that you can attend, right? Yes. Yeah, any other queries, right? Yes.
This demo session is of 2 days only.
Oh, like 3 days to 4 days, like 3 to 4 days today, like 3 days to 4 days. 4
Oh,
days you can attend.
okay. Actually, I am asking this question because like where we need to pay the fee.
So today is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You can attend the sessions, right? To see these levels of this training. And if you want, you asked a query, right? About the payment structure. You can see in the chart panel, right? They have given a big message, right, by the online team. See the first message, or I think the third or fourth message, I think.
Oh yeah, got it.
If you have got, they have given their contact details, right? In the future, if anybody not receiving the video, you can make the just make use of that mobile numbers, and the videos will be forwarded by the online team. The notes I'll be forwarding directly to your mails, right? So that the payment process procedure and everything, right? You are supposed to send a screenshot of your payment to this. So in tomorrow that any link is changed, that will be updated to you, right? Yes. Yeah, any other, right? It's an online batch only, so you can just interact and you can ask the queries if you got at the start of the session or at the end of the session, right? Yes, I recommend you people attend asking queries at the start of the session if you got any queries of the previous topics, right? At the start, first I'll go with that queries, next I'll start with the session, right? Because the next session it will be delayed if I'm right, if I'm skipping your queries, right? Yes, fine. Any other queries, right?
Sir, any libraries or something related to AWS cloud in Python we'll be looking at?
So now already these are the things I'm covering, right? So you will be getting the knowledge how to explore the models, how to dig, how to get the functionalities of this. So the other, like there will be many other, means there are many people from different backgrounds, right? So all the modules, it cannot be like people from networking background, people from testing background, people from AWS, people from different backgrounds, right? So these are the things I am going to, these are the models I'm going to show you. Based on that, you can also explore the other models, how to dig a model, how to explore a model, how to get a help on that, so that the same thing you can apply on you any models of your domain related things, right? But the other things not covered, right? Okay, so any other queries, right? Any other queries as part of?
For HTML, CSS, JS, we have Saturday, Sunday, the classes.
Yeah, Saturday, Sundays classes will be there. So if anyone unable to attend, even you will be getting the recorded session of it. You can go through and
And
you can
what
ask
is the
for it.
timing of Saturday, Sunday?
So throughout Saturday and Sunday timings will be intimated, right? As of now, already batches are running, but any new batch they'll be starting, it will be intimated to you, right?
Okay.
Mostly mornings or afternoons, right?
Okay.
Okay. So if I'm done with your queries, if there are no other queries, then I will sign off for today. Meet you tomorrow, same time at 8 p.m. with the same link, right? So thank you all for your time. Thank you. Meet you tomorrow. Bye.